Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we're going to talk about why a certain facility is so hard to close and the lessons that we can learn from it. You know, for a while, for years, this was a big topic. It was discussed a lot. It was in the news cycle all the time. When are we going to shut this place down? What are we going to do with these people? There were a lot of people who were very interested in closing this chapter of American history. Then under the Trump administration, it fell out of the news cycle because everybody knew the Trump administration had absolutely no interest in rectifying the situation. The Biden administration has approved a deal that's going to let one person leave this place. They're basically headed to Morocco. They're going to be on parole, kind of. In the process of approving this deal, they have expressed lukewarm interest in shutting down Guantanamo. Now, when they say that, I'm certain they just mean the more notorious part of Guantanamo, not the entire facility. If you don't know, Guantanamo is where the United States warehoused people it believed to be high value for about 20 years. Some of the people that were there were led there based on less than accurate information. Some pretty horrible stuff happened there. They were held there for a very long time, many of whom never had charges. Now, the question that kind of caught my interest about this is, what's the military application for keeping these people? Oh, that's easy. There's not one. There's not one, and there hasn't been one for a very, very long time. There's no intelligence gathering going on anymore. These people have been out of circulation so long, they don't even know the names of the people on the field. There's not a military or intelligence application anymore. At its peak, this place held 600 to 700 people. Today, there's less than 40. Of those, about a dozen, I think the actual number is 11, they're not going anywhere. Like, even if they leave Guantanamo, they're just going into another cell. They will probably never see a free day again. The remainder, from an intelligence or military standpoint, yeah, they could probably be released the same way this person is. You know, an intelligence agency in their home country say, yeah, we'll monitor him. He's going to come here and clean pools for his brother. And that's really what this guy's going to do in Morocco. And U.S. intelligence monitors them as well. That could be done. Okay. So why isn't it happening? It has nothing to do with the military or intelligence. It is politics. What if something goes wrong? What if one of these people that's released, well, what if they do something? That politician that approved that release and everybody who had anything to do with that decision, their careers are over. That's why it's taken so long. And that political math, it's going to be valid today and valid 20 years from now. That's what's taking so long. Because whoever releases them has to believe that these people who have been held for a very long time without charges, that they're not going to do anything. They're putting their political futures in the hands of those being released. It seems really unlikely. That's the holdup. It's not a military one or an intelligence one anymore. This is like any situation. When the gloves come off, it's really hard to put them back on because the law of unintended consequences. This place exists because the United States violated its own principles. That's why it exists. And once that happened, well, those decisions keep getting made. How do you close places like this? You never let them open. It's one of those Pandora box things. The political reality is, I don't know how it could be closed. It doesn't matter if it's moral or if it's the right thing to do. I don't know politically how it would work out. because that's going to require a very brave politician. That's going to require them to care more about the principles of the United States than the political fallout that could occur. I mean, regardless of what led them there, regardless of the fact that they were held without charges, regardless of the absolutely inexcusable stuff that occurred down there, they aren't necessarily good people. They may do something bad, which would impact the political futures of those who released them. It's a realistic possibility. And because it's a realistic possibility, when it comes to politics, certainty is more important than morality. I don't see the path to closing this place, because we're not going to bring them to the U.S. I mean, that might give them access to U.S. courts. And given some of the stuff that went on, I mean, that doesn't seem like a good idea from the government standpoint. Just letting them go and letting them go home, I mean, that's begging for a political disaster. There aren't a lot of options on the table politically when you're talking about reality and how things actually work. Because once those ideals get violated, it's hard to fix it. And that's where we're at. But make no mistake, the people down there now, it's not an intelligence thing. And with the exception of that dozen or so that is never leaving, there's probably not a legitimate reason to hold any of them outside of that 11 or 12. Those people are never going anywhere. So that's the reality of it. Now, should this place be closed? Yeah. How it's going to happen, I don't have a clue. I don't see a realistic path forward. The key takeaway, the real lesson here, is that if what we believe to be right and good and true is right and good and true, we have to stand by those principles no matter how hard it is. And we didn't. We let fear get the better of us. We violated our own principles. And here we are 20 years later, confused as to how to get them back. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.